You know that sinking feeling when you realize you've been scammed? That moment when your heart drops and you start replaying every decision that led you to this point? That's exactly how the owners of these 7 vehicles feel every time they turn the key. They thought they were buying reliable, durable, and well-engineered machines, only to find themselves stuck with a money pit that breaks down well before hitting the 40,000-mile mark. In this video, we'll take a look at 7 such vehicles. First, let's talk about Nissan Rogue. Nissan Rogue is one of those SUVs that seems like a quite safe, dependable choice. It's everywhere, driven by families and people who just want a hassle-free ride. Unfortunately, the latest generation has become a nightmare for owners, owing to an engine and transmission combination that's a ticking time bomb. The Rogue's turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, featuring Nissan's variable compression technology, was meant to provide better fuel efficiency. Instead, it has turned into a mechanical disaster, suffering from internal bearing damage and complete engine failures. If that weren't enough, the Rogue's continuously variable transmission, CVT, is notorious for premature failure. And since these transmissions can't be repaired, replacing one can cost thousands of dollars. Nissan's reliability record has taken a major hit, and the Rogue is one of the worst offenders. For an SUV meant to bring peace of mind, it sure causes a lot of stress. Even though the Jeep Wrangler is one of the most famous off-road cars, it's not very reliable. Although it's designed to handle rough terrains, it has trouble with daily driving and breaks down before it even hits 40,000 miles. Engine breakdowns are a common problem for Wrangler owners. Transmission problems are another nightmare. When gears slip or move slowly, it's expensive to fix. Problems with the Wrangler include the famed death wobble, in which the steering wheel shakes violently at high speeds, making the car very unsafe to drive. It can cost around $800 to fix this, but that doesn't always mean it will be fixed for good. The Wrangler also has problems with its electrical systems. Even though it's great off-road, it's not a good long-term investment because it needs constant upkeep and repairs cost a lot. Ford's Bronco Sport came onto the market with a promise of rugged capability, but beneath its bold design lies a host of major reliability concerns. The biggest culprit, the 1.5-liter EcoBoost engine. This little turbocharged motor has been plagued by cracked fuel injectors, which not only cause performance issues, but can also lead to fuel leaks, and in the worst cases, engine fires. To be honest, that's not exactly what you want from an off-road ready SUV. And the problems don't stop there. Owners have reported overheating issues and turbocharger failures that leave them stranded. Ford has attempted to address some of these concerns with recalls and extended warranties. But the damage to the Bronco Sport's reputation is already done. For an SUV that's supposed to be all about fun, many owners are only going on trips to the dealership to get it fixed over and over again. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. Let's move on with our video. At first glance, the Mitsubishi Mirage seems like a great budget-friendly option. But what it saves you in the beginning costs you in fixes and poor performance over time. The weak 78 horsepower engine in this subcompact car makes driving on the highway feel like an uphill fight. The Mirage has a hard time keeping its speed, and many drivers say that the engine strains too much even when driving normally. Besides not working well, the Mirage has major problems with how it was put together. Owners often say that the cabins are too noisy, the seats are too hard, and the whole thing feels cheap. Another weak point is the suspension, which makes the ride rough even on mostly smooth roads. Handling is slow, which makes turns feel shaky, especially when going fast. The Mirage really fails when it comes to dependability. Reports say that transmissions fail often and cost a lot to fix. The Mirage may look like a cheap option, but its long-term durability isn't very good. Then there's the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, an SUV that was supposed to be a game changer. It was promoted as having the ideal combination of environmentally aware engineering and features that families would love. In fact, it's a mess that you can't count on. People who own hybrid cars claim that the system shuts down without warning, often in the middle of a drive. Imagine that you're on a road trip with your kids in the back, and all of a sudden, your van thinks it's time to go. Worse yet, there have been multiple claims that the battery system is a fire risk. Even though recalls have been done, they haven't helped much to calm people down. Even worse, Chrysler shops often have trouble figuring out what's wrong and fixing it, so owners have to wait weeks or even months to get their car back. The Pacifica Hybrid is supposed to be the most family-friendly minivan ever.
Whether peeling away from a stop, overtaking slower traffic on the freeway, or just lugging around.
But families are having more breakdowns and complaints than happy memories of road trips. People usually think of luxury cars as being reliable, but the Infiniti QX50 shows that price doesn't always mean quality. This SUV looks great and has a nice interior, but it has a lot of the same parts as the Nissan Rogue. For example, it has the same problematic turbocharged 3-cylinder engine and CVT gearbox. And what was the end result? The engine and transmission in the QX50 break down just as often and badly as those in the cheaper QX30, but the cost to fix them are even higher. Even experts in the field have given the QX50 a bad review, claiming that for a luxury SUV, it's not very reliable. It shows that paying more doesn't always mean getting a better product. Sometimes it just means getting the same problems in a fancier way. And finally, there is Volkswagen Jetta. Although it has a history of being a fashionable and reasonably priced sedan.
With an updated grille, new LED reflector headlights, LED daytime running lights, this futuristic LED light line,
this SUV has recently gained a reputation for being extremely unreliable. At first glance, it looks like a great deal, but often fixes make the cost of ownership add up quickly. Jetta owners often express their dissatisfaction with the engine stalling, a problem that can be both annoying and risky. While driving, many drivers lose power and are trapped or unable to start their cars. The Jetta used to be very fuel efficient, but that too has been going down. A lot of the time, owners say that their cars use more gas than they thought they would.
When you have a coil that is on the plug like this and it fails, it's only going to affect that individual cylinder, which is on this vehicle. When this coil fails, it's going to affect.
Turbocharged models also have problems with engine misfires. Electrical problems are also a big worry. When the engine shuts down for no reason, it's usually because of issues with the starting system, failing sensors, or bad wiring. Even though the Jetta looks good and is comfy inside, it isn't as reliable as it used to be. At the end of the day, a vehicle should be a reliable companion without constant breakdowns, unexpected repair costs, or the fear that it might just stop working altogether. If you're in the market for a new car, do yourself a favor. Steer clear of these models unless you want to experience the frustration of owning a vehicle that won't even last 40,000 miles.